Persistent homeowners who refused to sell or move out of their homes despite all odds. Austin Springs, Washington, USA. Austin Springs owned a townhouse in downtown Washington during a booming real estate market. Developers offered him millions to buy the property for condos and offices, but he turned them down, hoping for a better deal. As offers ceased, Austin planned to open a pizzeria in the building. However, financial difficulties arose, and his bank threatened foreclosure due to unpaid debts. Ultimately, in 2011, he was forced to sell the property for $750,000, a significantly lower amount than the offers he had previously received. Mr. Yang, Hubei, China. Mr. Yang owned a 3-story home in Hubei, which stood in the middle of a construction site for a new industrial park. He disagreed with the government about fair compensation, so he refused to leave. To pressure him, developers cut off the home's water and electricity. While his family temporarily moved out, they couldn't afford to stay elsewhere and eventually returned. Now, they fetch water from a nearby river and use candles for lighting, still holding on to their home. A Chinese motorway, Ningbo, China. In Ningbo, East China, a homeowner stood firm against selling their property for a motorway project. Unable to reach an agreement, developers built the road around the house, leaving it isolated in the middle of the new infrastructure. Drivers now have to maneuver around the building, which remains a unique obstacle on the motorway. The owner has yet to decide the future of the property, making it a striking symbol of resistance amid rapid urban development. Edith Macefield, Seattle, USA. In Seattle's Ballard neighborhood, Edith Macefield lived in a small house while the area around her rapidly changed. Developers offered her $1 million to sell her home so they could build a mall, but Edith refused. Left with no choice, the developers constructed the mall around her house. In her 80s, Edith formed a close friendship with Barry Martin, one of the contractors. Barry helped her with everyday tasks and took care of her. When Edith passed away, she left her house to Barry as a token of gratitude. Luo Baojian, Wenzhou, China. In Wenzhou, China, an elderly couple, Luo Baojian and his wife, refused to move out of their 5-story home even after everything around it was demolished to make way for a road. They believed the compensation offered wasn't fair. Their building now stands alone in the middle of the road, with parts left intact for their safety. However, all their neighbors have moved away, leaving them isolated. Nui Chuang and Jiang Jiangjun, Shandong, China. Nui Chuang and Jiang Jiangjun, a couple in their 60s, refused to leave their home despite pressure from developers. Their house now sits on a small piece of land surrounded by towering skyscrapers. Even after developers cut off their utilities and issued threats, the couple stood firm, refusing to abandon their property. Their story highlights their resilience and unwavering determination to protect their land against all odds. A house with a 360-degree road, Guangzhou, China. In Guangzhou, city planners needed to build roads to connect to a tunnel under the Pearl River. However, 3 families refused to sell their homes. Because of this, the developers constructed a 4-lane road around the houses. The homes are now surrounded by the road, offering an unusual 360-degree view of traffic. The $3 Million Corner, New York, USA. On the corner of 34th Street and Broadway in New York City stands a 5-story building, right in front of Macy's department store. In the early 1900s, Macy's tried to buy this land to expand their store, but a rival businessman bought it instead, possibly to block Macy's plans. The building has remained unchanged and is now a unique part of New York's real estate history. A farm on a highway, Shandong, China. In Shandong province, a farmer and his wife refused to give up their land for a highway project. To meet construction deadlines, the government built the highway around the farm. Cars pass through a narrow dirt path, but trucks have to turn back. Despite the inconvenience, the couple continues to live there with their animals, refusing to leave their land.